Breaking today, Meghan Markle pushes back against her Diana death stunt in Paris. No wonder. Prince William, we're told, is so horrified, so mortified, so traumatized by his sister-in-law that he went white with horror.
Meghan Markle's latest Paris appearance didn't just turn heads, it turned stomachs inside Buckingham Palace. Because just hours after attending Balenciaga's runway show, a video surfaced showing her reclining in a black limo, champagne in hand, on the very same route where Princess Diana's life ended. Within minutes, the internet exploded. Royal watchers called it tone-deaf, fans called it creepy. And inside the palace, insiders say Prince William went white with anger. To him, it wasn't just a bad look, it was personal. That underpass in Paris isn't a backdrop, it's trauma. And seeing Meghan using it as a photo op felt like the deepest possible cut. But behind that short clip lies an entire web of motives, rivalries, and royal tension. Because according to whispers from both London and LA, this wasn't an accident, it was calculated. A move meant to reclaim global attention right when the Sussex brand was fading fast. And there's so much to unpack here, from William's fury and the palace's quiet response, to the theories about Meghan's Diana in Paris symbolism and what it could mean for the royal family going forward. The night Meghan Markle arrived in Paris, the cameras followed her every step, and that was exactly how she wanted it.
What I did find very interesting was that she met with Anna Wintour. Now that is a big change for her because she has not spoken to Anna Wintour pretty much in her whole kind of celebrity career.
Wearing a sleek Balenciaga ensemble, she slid into a glossy black limousine outside the Ritz, the same hotel where Diana spent her final hours. Moments later, that now infamous clip appeared online. Meghan lounging in the back seat, one leg crossed, champagne glass catching the Paris lights as the car moved toward the Pont de l'Alma tunnel. It looked glamorous, effortless, almost cinematic. But to millions watching, it wasn't fashion, it was provocation. Within hours, royal commentators and fans were calling it the stunt that crossed the line. The underpass isn't just another Paris landmark. It's a memorial, a place wrapped in grief, still visited daily by those who remember Diana's final moments. One palace insider was quoted saying, "William saw it and went white. It wasn't rage, it was shock first. He thought it was a cruel parody of his mother's death." Another called it insensitive beyond comprehension. To the public, it looked like Meghan was chasing a headline. To William, it looked like she was chasing his mother's ghost. Even Meghan's supporters struggled to defend it. Critics accused her of trying to channel Diana for attention, and the timing only made it worse. As one royal watcher put it, "That wasn't coincidence, that was choreography." For William, the stunt was more than bad taste, it was deeply personal. A source close to Kensington said he didn't just see it as disrespect toward Diana, he saw it as emotional manipulation.
At one point she sat on the front row and a model tripped and she burst out laughing. And then she realized that was obviously quite a cruel thing to do, so she sort of covered it up. But she was quite poised, but I think she was a little bit nervous there.
And in a family already strained by loss and betrayal, Meghan's Paris stunt might have just reopened a wound that never healed. Behind the gilded gates of Kensington Palace, William's fury was described as ice-cold, not loud. According to insiders, the future king didn't shout, he froze. Staff said his face went pale when the Paris footage was played. One aide whispered, "He went white with anger, you could feel it in the room, nobody spoke for a full minute." William reportedly demanded confirmation. Was the video really filmed along the Pont de l'Alma route? When aides confirmed, he pushed back from the table and left. "It wasn't about Meghan anymore," said one insider. "It was about Diana. That tunnel is sacred ground for him." The fury, they say, came from pain, the kind that never truly leaves. William had walked behind his mother's coffin as a child. He'd spent years protecting her memory from exploitation. To see anyone, let alone Meghan, use that imagery for a photo shoot felt unforgivable. Another courtier revealed. He called it grotesque. He said some lines can't be crossed, not even for fame. Even King Charles was said to be quietly distressed, reportedly calling the video lacking humanity. But it was William who took it personally, not as a prince, but as a son. And behind closed doors, whispers say this might have been the moment he decided reconciliation was no longer possible. The Paris video didn't just spark outrage, it reignited a debate that's haunted Meghan since her royal debut, her alleged obsession with Princess Diana. For years, royal watchers have noticed the echoes, the wardrobe, the hand gestures, even her phrasing in interviews. But this Paris moment? It wasn't imitation, it felt like recreation. Side-by-side comparisons flooded social media. Same style, same lighting, same black limousine, and whether intentional or not, the resemblance was impossible to ignore. Commentators called it eerie and disturbing. One former palace aide told GB News, "It's as if her PR team wants her associated with Diana's legend, but you can't have the legend without the loss." Even Meghan's defenders struggled. Some argued she was simply channeling confidence, while others said the symbolism was too loaded to be accidental. But the most damaging detail? Analysts found the camera setups appeared pre-positioned near the tunnel, suggesting the shoot was planned. Not a coincidence, not spontaneity, production. As one insider said, when the lighting's perfect and the car's moving at the exact pace of Diana's route, that's not tribute, that's theater. And that's what stung the palace most. Because Diana wasn't content, she was consequence. And to see her final moments mimicked in a publicity clip turned grief into spectacle. When outrage erupted, Meghan's team moved fast. Within 48 hours, Newsweek and GB News published near-simultaneous stories defending her. She didn't realize the underpass was nearby. They said, "She wasn't invoking Diana, it was all about fashion." But the public wasn't buying it. To critics, the PR push felt rehearsed, a calculated attempt to smother backlash before it could hurt potential brand deals. One palace insider scoffed. That explanation insulted everyone's intelligence. She has planners, drivers, security, of course she knew. Newsweek softened the tone, painting Meghan as misunderstood. GB News did the opposite, calling the stunt a twisted tribute and a PR catastrophe.
Deliberately. Okay, this is a sociopathic woman, in my opinion. She's probably trying to trigger Harry. She's probably trying to drum up attention, maybe for this Princess Diana.
Behind the scenes, whispers say Meghan's team even offered private context to certain journalists if they'd tone down the criticism. It didn't work. The move backfired spectacularly. As one late-night host joked, "You can take Meghan out of Hollywood, but you can't take Hollywood out of Meghan." And that joke, echoed across headlines, hurt more than any statement from the royals ever could. Amid the backlash, a new angle surfaced, and it changed everything. Insiders claimed Meghan's Balenciaga appearance wasn't random. Her team had been in quiet talks with the luxury brand for weeks, hoping to position her as their new global face. But there was one complication. Kim Kardashian. Balenciaga had been rebuilding its image after controversy, and Meghan's camp allegedly saw an opening. One Paris insider told Le Figaro, she wants the crown and the contract. The limousine, the styling, the cameras, all suddenly made sense. What looked like a symbolic stunt might have actually been a branding play, a way to fuse royal mystique with celebrity influence. But instead of elegance, it brought outrage. Instead of prestige, it reignited one of Britain's oldest wounds. PR analysts later said it best. She tried to turn legacy into lifestyle, and it backfired. Body language experts who analyzed the clip noticed it immediately. Control, precision, intent. She knew exactly where she was, one analyst told Express. Pretending otherwise is impossible. Psychologists suggested the moment was layered, part defiance, part symbolism. It was Meghan saying, "I'll go where you told me not to." One behavioral expert added, "She's not copying Diana, she's competing with her memory, trying to prove she can be remembered too." But that kind of rebellion has consequences. Because every time Meghan challenges the royal image, she also deepens the divide that's tearing it apart. According to insiders, King Charles was deeply unsettled. Advisors reportedly began reviewing how Diana's name, likeness, and legacy can legally be protected from what one aide called commercial mimicry. As one royal historian put it, "When symbolism becomes a weapon, monarchy becomes vulnerable." By week's end, the outrage was global. On social media, the backlash was merciless. TikTok edits of Meghan's limo clip juxtaposed with Diana's final night reached millions. Hashtags like "Diana deserves respect" trended for days. Even Sussex supporters grew silent. One viral post read, "There's admiration and then there's exploitation. This crossed the line." Inside Buckingham, the mood was somber. One aide admitted, "We've ignored the interviews and the books, but this one hurt."
Diana documentary. Maybe she's working on this Diana documentary. She's out doing research. Maybe she's doing her own research in the field. Sorry, I'm laughing. But she's out doing research in the field.
William refused to comment publicly, but those close to him said the silence was the message. For him, no words could fix what felt like deliberate provocation. Meanwhile, Meghan resurfaced days later in Beverly Hills, smiling, serene, unbothered. To her critics, that image confirmed everything they'd suspected. Royal experts warned that her refusal to acknowledge the backlash had turned discomfort into resentment. As one commentator put it, you can't borrow Diana's imagery and then act like you don't understand its power. Behind closed doors, whispers said this could be the breaking point. The last straw before the palace quietly, permanently distances itself from the Sussexes. What happened in Paris wasn't just another scandal, it was a sign of something much bigger. William wants to protect the monarchy. Meghan wants to redefine it. And Harry stands in the middle, torn between them both. But this latest controversy may have sealed their fate. For William, the stunt confirmed what he already believed. Meghan's mission isn't reconciliation, it's control. Royal analysts now describe it as a branding war disguised as a family feud. Each move Meghan makes, each silence from the palace only deepens the divide. And every time Diana's name resurfaces, the world remembers not the unity she represented, but the fracture she left behind. As one royal correspondent wrote, Diana humanized the monarchy, Meghan commercialized it, and William's fighting to keep it sacred. For the royal family, this isn't just about image anymore. It's about legacy. And for two brothers who once stood side by side in grief, it now feels like a story with no way back. From Paris glamour to royal outrage, from the haunting shadow of Diana to the echo of William's fury, this story has proven one thing: some wounds in the royal family never truly heal. What began as a moment of luxury has spiraled into a global debate about respect, memory, and power. For Meghan, Paris was meant to be a comeback, a moment of control. For William, it was a line crossed forever. And now the question haunting Buckingham isn't what happened, it's what happens next. Because in the monarchy's world, silence is strategy, and this time, it may speak louder than ever. This is Hollywood Daily Reports. Subscribe now because this storm isn't over, and trust me, the next royal twist might make this one look like child's play.